couple of drinks. Yay!
Your face froze on my computer. It was great. You were like,
I didn't understand a word you said.
yay!
Yay! Welcome to Over a Couple
Goal.
of Drinks. It's a new year. Same old us. Procrastinating.
Yeah.
Oh.
When's the last time we did one? All of us? Three of us?
You stall for time. Let me look up.
The last one that I did was with Bill and Sprott for it.
And Eric, because somebody died.
And Eric. Yes.
Because he's our
That's
official
what I
Grim
did.
Reaper.
It's a while.
I'm looking
That
it
was
up.
like 2 shitbeards ago.
Two whole shit beards.
Is that how we're
Shitbeards, maybe
measuring
3.
time now in shitbeards? Because,
It-
damn. All right, hold on.
mean-
LB, were you on the Rick and Morty one?
No, I don't.
You
I
weren't
never
on the
watched
Council
Rick
of
and Morty.
Bills. You weren't on it.
I was on the Rick and Morty precursor.
Yeah.
What was that?
Game of Thrones, Game of Thrones, Game of Thrones, Iron Fist. Were you on the August 2017 podcast, LB?
What are we talking about?
Let me pull it up real fast. Top 15 underrated comedies. No, that means there's 3 of us. Oh, LB, you were on that one.
On that.
I was on that one.
You were in
yeah,
that
I was.
one.
You're right.
You and
I had
Billy.
I had comedies.
You had
So
comedy.
Forgetting Sarah Marshall was mine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So tonight we're talking about a Star Wars. The Last
One of
Jedi.
them. The last Star Wars. No.
It's not the last Star Wars.
No. Not
Oh,
Just
God,
about
no.
that as
the
well.
latest Star Wars.
Late.
Star
latest.
Wars. Star Wars going on for a long time.
Star Wars.
Nothing but Star Wars. Nothing but Star Wars. I don't remember the rest of the
Better
words.
stop or we'll get sued.
Hey. So with me tonight is LB with 1, 2, 3 times a shit beard.
Aww.
Oh.
You look like the precursor to Dexter when he was turning into a lumberjack that was off screen. So he went through the shit beard, and then he comes out to be even fake shit beard. So you're like 2 months away from fake shit beard.
So I am Dexter as he's clawing his way through the ground.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That level
Yeah.
of Dexter.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So you're almost
Dexter.
there. And our queen of Florida, it's official now. It's Jess.
That's official. She was coronated.
She was coordinated. It's true. It happened.
Did you guys miss that? We
Yeah.
should have televised that.
We should have televised it. We have pictures, so it happened. The real reason you haven't seen Jess in forever is because Game of Thrones is off the air. That's the truth.
Well.
That is the
Oh,
truth.
come on. I do other things other than watch Game of Thrones.
No, you don't.
Like, yes, I do. I watch...
I rest my case.
yeah, no. Thanks.
Okay, so real quick, what is everybody drinking tonight? LB.
I'm drinking out of a Star Wars mug.
Ooh.
It is hot cocoa with peppermint. What is it? Schnapps?
Schnapps?
Sure. She says sure. Peppermint
I thought you said
schnapps.
I heard peppermint whizzit, and I thought that was a new form of alcohol that I didn't know about.
Peppermint was it?
It's like the new IPA, peppermint whizzit.
Bill, hold on 1 second.
Jess, what are you drinking?
Kicking it old school with woodchuck hard cider.
Oh, man.
Yeah,
I'm
because that's what they
rocking-
have at the party store at my apartment complex.
Party store. You have a party store at your complex? That's nice.
Yes,
Right?
that sells the alcohols.
Because you can't buy it from a store. Oh!
I can't what?
Because you can't buy it from a store.
I can buy it from a store.
Can't buy it from a grocery store. Yeah, but LB,
I can buy alcohol from a grocery store. I can't buy liquor from a grocery store.
you have this.
What is that?
That's Lobster Johnson. That goes along with Hellboy.
Are we just showing off toys now?
Yeah, we're showing off toys.
I have Batman.
I have Batman. I have Doom Marine.
I got Picard and Riker.
And
And
I'm
none of
Angalore.
these things are related to what we're talking about.
Hey, podcast
Hey,
thing.
Hey, podcast.
Star Wars.
So okay,
Nobody's watching this.
I'm drinking Tutti Frutti, which is New Amsterdam gin and Dr Pepper. It tastes like a Tutti Frutti jelly bean. I kid you not. It's delicious. So we're talking about Star Wars, which
Drinking.
which according to the internet is a hot topic. A month ago,
It's either the best Star
Which
Wars
is a month
or
ago,
worst
which
Star
is why
Wars
we're
ever.
talking about it now.
which is why we're doing it now, because we're real people and we have lives. I mean, LB, show them what you're doing to your bathroom. No.
I don't. No.
No, I will not be doing that. I will not be sharing that.
Okay. So real quick, what did you guys think of Star Wars? You like it? You didn't like it? What? LB, go.
I didn't hate it. I mean, I thought it was an okay Star Wars movie. I didn't think it was a great movie.
Okay, Jess.
In like to what LB just said, I did not dislike it. I did not hate it like the people on the internet did. I did not love it head over heels, but I enjoyed it. I thought it was visually aesthetic, and I thought it was a good Star Wars movie.
No, we're on Star Wars.
Star Wars. It's a good Star Wars.
Star Wars. I actually liked it a lot. The more I think about it, the more I really enjoyed it. That's strictly as an entertainment level. Not the person to talk to about scene setup or shots or any of those fancy $2 words. It just looked pretty. I really like the characters. I really like what they did with the characters in this. As a specific character-driven movie, I thought it was really, really good. And I enjoyed it a lot, the more I think about it. Okay?
Okay.
So, do we want to get to our list now of where we put it on the grand scheme of things, or do you just want to free-flow talk about this?
Oh.
I don't think I'm ready to list it.
Okay.
I don't think I'm ready to list it
I gotta
either.
think it out as I talk it out.
I don't know. I gotta think about which ones I like the best.
Okay.
So, why don't we start with what did you like about it? Jess, go.
Okay, just go.
Oh, I thought that I'm always a big fan of the Star Wars world building, the aesthetics of the whole thing, like the design and everything. A lot of my favorite parts of it were visual. And there's little character things in there that I enjoyed as well, like the whole weird brain link between Kylo and Rey. It was weird, but at the same time, it was really cool for character development, and so I can see why they put it in there. It's just that ever happened before?
No, it hasn't.
Okay, I just want to make sure that wasn't me misremembering, because the last couple of times I've watched Star Wars, I've been pretty drunk. So I just wanted to make sure that that wasn't just me misremembering. Yeah. Yeah, I think I agree. Character-wise, character building-wise, it had good character development, across the board through the whole movie. And that's it. On to you, LB.
I liked the overall story. I actually liked a lot of the character arcs, Kylo's in particular. I liked that they teased the whole, he's gonna, be redeemed thing, and he's like, no, nope, not gonna do that. Been down that road before. We're gonna do something else. I know there are a lot of people, including Mark Hamill, who had problems with, Luke Skywalker's character. I didn't mind it. I thought it was okay. I thought it was done pretty well. I can't get into the stuff I didn't like yet. I thought it was beautiful. The last battle scene was
awesome.
Phenomenal.
So good. I like the red planet with the snow on top. So then, as the battle progresses, it actually looks like blood, but you know that it's just the dirt. And I was like, what a strong artistic choice! Oh my god!
That's something you just don't like I wouldn't like trying to build a world. I wouldn't think that about that. But whoever came up with that deserves like an Oscar for just fucking thought. Like straight up, like it's something so unique, cool, and you didn't think twice about it in a Star Wars universe. But it was like it added so much to every scene. And full blown spoiler here, it's the one thing that tipped me off on why Luke wasn't actually there at the end, because he wasn't leaving footprints.
No, I wasn't.
I didn't
looking at
notice
that.
that, but yeah, I heard that.
Yeah,
you
I was like,
footprints.
I went, oh shit, he's not there, and my wife was like, what? And I was like, no footprints. So,
But I like that moment where they blast him and it looks like he blows up in blood, but
Yeah.
that's a good moment.
Yeah, that's strong.
Yeah. So what was he brushing off then, Bill?
to keep up the facade, dumbass.
It was kind of like, you didn't touch me, bitches.
Yeah.
What else did you like, LB, or was that it?
I really liked the Finn storyline with Rose in general, and
I thought you were going to say
actually
you didn't
did.
like that.
no, I actually there were parts of it I didn't like, but
Yeah.
overall I liked that. I thought that was a good journey for him to take because, you always in the first movie he's a stormtrooper who fell out of the order, basically, just lost touch with it, and then he never really had a good reason though otherwise for joining the Resistance. He never had that motivation other than I don't really like the Empire.
Yeah, well,
But
he never actually had a reason to join. He still doesn't. He was only looking out for Rey.
Right. And this movie kind of gave him that
reason, yeah.
kind of reason, exactly.
It's
So
when I was watching it, like I heard like someone was like, "Well, I didn't like how they reneged his character," and I was like, "What are you talking about?" It's like he's just all of a sudden a coward again. I was like, did he have that arc in the first one, or did we force that arc on him in our head? Because it's the, as I'm calling it, the Rocket Raccoon conundrum. Because everyone's like, why is Rocket Raccoon a jackass in the second Guardians of the Galaxy film when he learned to be a part of the team in the first one? Did he learn to be a part of the team? He was totally against the plan in the first place, and he lost his only good friend to sacrifice this team. He would be more of a jackass, which is what he was in the second one. Mm-hmm. So,
and I like.
did we
But
have
I thought-
that, or did he? Continue, LB. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
I don't know. I just like that he wasn't the comic relief this time around. Like the first movie set him up in the beginning as, oh, he's gonna be a pretty cool character, and then the second half of the movie is just,
He goes
oh,
down.
I'm a space janitor.
Mm-hmm.
What's that?
He just falls down.
Yeah.
The more you learn about Finn in the first one, the more he becomes disappointing. Like he's
Yes.
this badass hero. Like he's a badass stormtrooper who falls out on mind control or whatever it is, and then like you said, he was a janitor. He only worked in the trash compactor. He's overeager and he doesn't have any combat skills. And why the fuck are we rooting for him? But yeah, he wasn't really a comedic relief, and that was kind of fun.
But what I found was interesting is that they build in that part of his character about him essentially being a glorified janitor, but then they introduce Rose, and they show like the everyday hero that like he appears to be, like especially in that first intro scene, and it's what I that just seemed very real and fleshed out to me, like that, like you're like, oh yeah, I guess people would look at him that way because they wouldn't know that he was just a janitor. They would just know that he escaped the First Order,
and now he's fighting for the Resistance, apparently. Yeah,
fighting.
Well, the whole point of this movie is like, don't meet your legends or your heroes because they're just going to let you down. So for Rose, meeting Finn was a letdown. For Rey meeting Luke, it was a letdown.
Right.
And there's a lot of subtle things that I think a lot of people missed in this, but I'm not going to like talk it up because this movie does have faults. It's not perfect, but I did really enjoy it. And like everything you guys touched on, I really liked. I really liked where they pushed Rey. I really liked where they pushed. I call him Ben now. I don't know why. I don't call him Kylo Ren. I call him Ben because I really liked where he went. The whole Snoke connecting the two and then building like a rapport from hating each other to getting along was great. I liked that Luke wasn't this prequel Jedi that he was in the expanded universe where he's always morally right and he's a total badass. He was a broken old man, and I really liked that.
He was a douche.
Yeah, and I liked the reason why he was a douche. I loved the whole thing. 3 seconds of doubt led to like however many,
This
like
whole
10,
misunderstanding.
this
Yeah.
whole misunderstanding that created one of the worst villains of the galaxy, and unending guilt and him deflating his own hype legend and becoming.
Right.
I loved it. I loved all of it. I loved fucking Yoda showing up and being old school original trilogy Yoda with a bit of a comedic flair and being like that fun teacher instead of that boring prequel Jedi thing that he was in 1, 2, and 3. It was awful.
Right.
I didn't realize how much I missed old Yoda until this movie. It really was. I went, old Yoda, he's kind of funny, but he still teaches you really fucking important lessons because it's Yoda and that's what he does.
Right.
I liked.
How'd you feel about the "I'm gonna burn it all down" moment?
I liked it.
I'm not sure. It felt out of place to me.
What do you mean?
I don't know. It seemed a little too far out of character.
He went to the island to die.
Right.
He went to the island to make sure nobody would find it, so no one would find the wills of the Jedi. So when Rey, possibly the thing he was only grasping hope to, is seen bonding with Kylo Ren, the reason why he's there, and she leaves to go connect with him, he's like, well, fuck it, I'm going to burn this place down because I want it to end now. I can't wait around for me to die. So he's going to go burn it down, and Yoda basically tells him, dude, you're not going to live with the guilt of possibly burning down the wills. I'm going to burn it down for you, even though he knows it's not there. Because if Luke really did burn down the books, that would have crippled him completely.
But the books weren't there. They were moved.
No, Yoda knew that.
Where were they? I missed that part.
I didn't find out this till afterwards. I read something, but
Yeah.
in the end of the movie, there's a shot of them like in the Millennium Falcon somewhere.
Ray stole them and put them in a drawer in the Millennium Falcon. There's like 2 real short shots of them that are like not the main focus of the shot, so it's easy to miss. But Ray stole them, but that's irrelevant. If Luke burned them down, he would never forgive himself. He would have come up, and he after his rage or whatever you want to say.
They had this whole overarching theme of them forgetting about the past. So, like, I could buy into him getting rid of the old texts because, like, the way that they're pitching it is that Rey is going to be the last Jedi. Like, they're not pitching it like it's going to rebuild.
But the last shot of the film of the kid with the broom using the Force is to tell you there isn't the last Jedi. There are still people who can use the Force, and there will always be the Jedi.
The kid was using the Force.
You didn't see that?
You didn't see that? He like grabbed the broom with the Force. He walks out to go sweep, and he pulls the broom towards him.
Oh no! I thought he just grabbed it.
No,
I must have missed that part. I didn't see him using
yeah.
the Force at all. I'm like, who the fuck is this kid, and why are they showing him sweeping? And just like this, just like a fucking like
Dakota ring.
Dakota
yeah,
ring.
like here's my Dakota ring. Force is strong. I'm proud supporter of the Resistance. That makes a little bit more sense. See, I spent most of the movie being incredibly confused. Like, I'm not the Star Wars uber nerd. Like, the first time when I watched it, I was with you guys, and I was drunk and 17 years old. Like, there's no, no, not 17. Not 17 at all. I don't know when we watched
21.
You were clearly.
I was clearly 21 years old.
How many times at a party did you hand me your drink when the police showed up?
Not that many. Like, you should just drink it. At least 2.
I was not at these parties.
No, not at all.
No.
For the record.
None of it matters now. I mean, we're all old.
We're all 21. I'm old as shit. I got gray hair now.
I've had gray hair since I was 17 and went straight to white. But, like, so I'm not old school, and I'm not, like, new school. I'm not one of those people that's going to learn, like, all the Star Wars and fangirl over it because that's the cool thing to do right now. I watch it as an art form and an appreciation for the overall, like, series as a whole because I recognize it as something great. So I sat there and I'm like, wait a minute, what in the fuck? Like, what is going on? Like, I haven't seen Force Awakens in like 4 months. Like, I cannot. My memory's not that bad. I just don't understand what's happening.
I think most of my problems with this movie come from the weak third act of The Force Awakens. Like, we didn't realize that the whole Republic was gone. Because it's so poorly handled in The Force Awakens.
Mm-hmm.
You find out, oh, it's another Death Star, and you're just going, fucking really? And some planets blow up, and you're like, fucking really? And you're supposed to believe...
and by the way, the Republic was on that one planet, one of those planets.
Yeah, so knowing that felt weird. So this jumping into like this, them coming to exterminate everybody kind of thing, and I was like, when did that happen? Oh, right, the part that I kind of blanked out about in The Force Awakens because you were just kind of going, really? So a lot of that came from that. So I don't hold this movie against it. I don't hold The Last Jedi against that because of how poorly it was handled in The Force Awakens.
Right, that's its own standalone. I mean, it's I don't know.
I will say Canto Bight lasted a little too long. And the last chase scene was 100% unnecessary.
Yeah, the people horse things.
Yep, the people horse things.
The last chase scene was set up explicitly so that Disney could ride around, like running around at those things.
Pretty much.
Let's be real with it, and like, you know what? I will be graciously surprised if they don't turn that into a ride.
Mm-hmm. What out there? Benicio del Toro. I liked his character, but it was the same problem I had with Forrest Whitaker in Rogue One. I didn't see the character. I only saw Forrest Whitaker, and I only saw Benicio del Toro.
Yeah, I kept seeing, like, I was like, isn't this the same guy from The Usual Suspects? Like, the same character?
Right, the same.
That's what it felt like to me.
I mean,
I can't understand what he's saying.
I can't understand what he's saying. I like that he had that stutter that was really cool. I liked the character. This is the problem with having these, like, really big stars in a Star Wars movie. Yeah. It doesn't work because I can't get past that they're in this. Mm-hmm. It's far different than, Harrison Ford coming back. Oh, everybody knows Harrison Ford, but he's Han Solo, so it's okay.
I had that same, like, cause I'm like, God, because I didn't know who it was off the top of my head. I'm like, who's that? I mean, it became more of a distraction. Yeah. Like, you're taken out of it, and you're just like, God, who is that? Like, yeah. And I agree. The stutter was a good choice, mostly because you don't really see that in humans in the Star Wars universe. Like, you'll see that in other creatures, other humanoid creatures.
Who is the alien bartender, Maz, or what's her name?
Oh yeah, Maz.
Can we not have her in the next movie?
Yeah, can we not? Because this was like totally not necessary, and it was dumb and distracting.
Yeah.
She's like the worst character of.
It was like
Force
a cameo.
Yeah.
It was just a weird cameo.
I don't care what anybody says. The hyperspace suicide jump was probably one of the most beautiful shots in all of 2017.
Yeah,
that was good.
It
really good.
I know it's not live action, but it was a live action anime scene. Like, you could see that happening in an anime, and you're just like, yeah, that's kind of cool.
Right.
But seeing it happen there, you're just like, it's beautiful. It was so cool, too.
I thought the movie was going to end shortly after that. I didn't realize how much longer it was going to go on.
God,
that was such a great moment.
Long.
Yeah.
It was long.
And
I went to go see it in a drive-in.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
And I'm like, Jesus Christ, what? Because, like, you've got no qualms in a drive-in on, like, checking your phone. And I'm like, how long is this movie? Like, really? Like, I had to go, like, look it up. Yeah, I know.
And part of the problem, I think, is the whole chase sequence of the Star Destroyers chasing the Rebel fleet is so drawn out and unnecessary and chock full of plot holes. It's like,
it could
really?
It could have been cut down, and part of that could have been cut down with, like, removing parts of Canto Bight that wasn't necessary.
Right.
And that could have
They just wanted to have that whole cantina feel. Like, that's really the only reason why it was there.
It felt like there were a lot of, well, that's convenient. Like, oh, we're just far enough where their fighters can't get us. That's convenient. Oh, our ships are faster. They can't
No,
catch us.
the fighters could get them. They just couldn't. The dreadnoughts couldn't cause. Oh, not the dreadnoughts because they blew up the dreadnought. The ships couldn't cover the fighters with bombardment, so the fighters would get chewed up by the blasters on the rebel ship.
I guess.
Fucking pay attention. They literally say that in the movie. He says,
Nerd.
"Ren, get back. We can't cover you from here. Fall back." That's Hux to Kylo Ren.
Okay, so if the Star Destroyers couldn't catch the cruisers, why didn't they just hyperspace ahead and fly back and catch them? Intercept them.
I'm sorry. Do you know who you're
Let's
talking
just sit
to?
back here.
Do you know who you're talking to? The First Order, whose entire purpose is to gloat. They were eating this up, man. That was every shot with Hux.
Uh-huh.
You drink out of a
Okay.
First Order mug, you fucking hypocrite. I loved that they killed Snoke. I loved how it happened. I loved the fight scene that happened directly after it.
I'm a little ticked that he died without us finding out who he was.
LB, do we need him alive to find out who he was?
That's true. We don't. But I'm worried that they're never going to address it.
So, what does it matter?
They might not.
It just bugs me. It's
What
like,
does it matter?
why? Who is he? I need
Okay,
to know,
right.
Bill.
LB?
No, I had
LB?
that
I'm
same
just going
feeling.
to assume he's one of Palpatine's old
LB?
friend guys
LB?
from the...
LB?
You know, I just
Talked
kind of
about.
sat there and assumed it was just something
Did-
that I was never going to know, and that was the reason why I was confused.
Did
Ha,
we- Did we know who the Emperor was at the end of Return of the Jedi? Or how he became the Emperor? Or why he was Force sensitive? Did we? No, it
No,
took
no,
episodes
that's
1, 2,
fair.
and 3, and honestly, it was better of not knowing.
You're right. But still...
It's not, you don't need to know. All you need to know is that he is incredibly powerful. He was able to connect Kylo Ren and Rey multiple times throughout the movie by putting them on each other's planet, so to speak, right?
Where did this guy...
Does it matter? Okay.
It does.
Okay,
to me.
Here's the next question. Ready?
I need to know.
No, here. I just got done writing an article about this, and it covers all these points. An article in which I referenced you, LB, actually.
Okay.
Because my whole point was Star Wars fans need to shut up because other franchises are getting hurt. Or do I need to talk to my buddy who's a huge Transformers fan and about how much he loves the Michael Bay films? Sarcasm. And I referenced it as an Alien fan going, did any of you see Alien Covenant or Prometheus? Don't talk to
I
me
don't
about
remember.
bad movies. Don't talk to me about bad movies.
You mean the movie that I watched and completely forgot about the moment after I was done with it when I hit the credits? Wait, going back to that fight scene.
Yeah.
And talking about...
We'll come back to Snoke, LB, don't worry.
Wait, what? Did you guys want to continue?
I was going to say something about
Which fight scene?
yeah, the fight scene. Let's talk about the sweet fight scene.
The fight... The fight scene after Snoke dies.
The Praetorian Guards.
So we discussed how the planet was really cool because of its initial design and the well thought out. This was something that bothered me and pulled me out.
Okay.
With the weird red fighters in the red room on a spaceship. Very, very confusing. Why?
I think...
Is this something...
I don't know why it was confusing, but I really felt like that whole set was just slapped together. That red backdrop, I was like, what is...
It's just a red room.
Well,
It's just a fucking red room with red fighters. And, like, I was like...
What's
Again,
super
and
confusing?
With me not being the super nerd, I'm like, is this a reference to, like, I think to myself, I find myself overthinking it and, like, overcompensating because of my confusion. And I'm like, is there a reason? Or did they just want to do something, like, schlocky that some people could be like, that looks really cool, red on red, and they're fighting, it's because they're bad.
What's really confusing is the next shot after everything's gone to hell, and, like, Hux finds Kylo Ren knocked out, there's no red. It's just a window. And I'm like, why didn't you just have the window? No, I agree with you. The red background was weird. They were in red because the Emperor's guard was in red in Return of the Jedi. So I guess there's probably some meaning behind that if you go deep enough in the lore.
That's having somebody dressed in red being the guard is fine. Having it in a red room inside of a spaceship is, and that's me being a design nerd. Like, that's me, like, questioning design concepts. Doesn't take away from the movie as a whole necessarily, but it bothers the ever-living shit out of me. Just the weird-ass design choices, and that's how petty I am.
Maybe they were wearing red and it's a red background, so it was harder to spot them.
I don't know. I just felt like this set piece in general was lazy.
It was, especially since the next shot after everything went to hell was far more dynamic. And
interesting.
I 100% agree, and I'm just trying to think of it like, why would it be that way? Why would they all be wearing red? Maybe it was harder to see them, but you know what? I don't care. The fight scene was really cool because, again, it wasn't a traditional lightsaber duel.
Right.
And I liked that. Again, there's a lot of the part of this movie that made me happy was that it never fed into my expectations. In fact, every time it was going somewhere, it took a hard left, and you're just like, oh, shit. Okay, yeah, let's keep going. Let's see what happens next. Like, them killing Snoke in the second movie instead of him being, like, the major head at the end of the third one. I really enjoyed how they did it. I fucking loved that, he was like, oh, Kylo Ren's gonna do this and kill you, and he's doing it with his one hand, and then with the other hand turning Anakin's old saber towards Snoke, and he nikes him, and I'm like, yes, that was so cool. And then it just led into this fight scene I was like, yeah, they're working together. Maybe there's hope that they'll team up, or because I was getting this really big gray Jedi vibe from Luke, so I was like, maybe we're gonna have gray Jedis, and that Kylo Ren and Rey would find a way to make it work. But still, expectations didn't go that way.
Right.
Speaking of expectations that didn't go that way, can we talk about what do we think in Force Awakens the writer's intentions were? Have those been revealed with Rey? Because
you mean the parentage, or like
all the fan theories obviously were kind of hinting towards she's she's a Solo child, she's a Skywalker child, she's a Kenobi child, something. And you got all these hints, like you hear Obi-Wan Kenobi saying, "These are your first steps, Rey," and you see all these little things that you think maybe she saw as a child, like she was trained as a Jedi, and that's why she can use the Force now. And this movie kind of says, no, she just is has raw Force power, and her parentage doesn't matter, and that stuff. I know, Bill, you wanted to say something. But
Bill has a theory.
No,
we discussed this yesterday.
I have a lot of theories about this that I feel will help you answer, but I want you to finish first, because I'm really excited.
So
if you couldn't tell me the large gestures.
And honestly, this movie doesn't contradict that movie, because you can kind of explain it as, okay, Rey has these visions because she's Force sensitive and she's into whatever, and she's hearing Ben Kenobi talk to her, but it's not because he's her dad. It's just he's saying these are your first steps, as in this is your first step towards becoming a Jedi right now, as you're seeing these visions, basically. Go ahead, Bill.
Well, one thing I always found weird was about all these fan theories of, oh, she has to be a Skywalker, or oh, she has to be a Kenobi, or oh, she has to, basically it's weird because like all these hardcore fans are saying this, and these are the hardcore fans who hated midichlorians, and it kind of reinforces the idea of midichlorians that you have to have the special bloodline to be a Jedi, when in fact I always just assumed, some people are Force sensitive, some people aren't. And it just,
I don't think that's why they thought that. I think it's because they thought the Star Wars saga is the Skywalker story.
I'm saying you reinforce it by having the midichlorians in your blood, so she has to have the special blood because she's so powerful, she has to be one of these people. It kind of retroactivates midichlorians, which I always thought was weird. But in this movie, I don't know if I believe what Ben said.
That's a good point.
Because the last lesson he learned from Snoke was weakness is a powerful motivator. And then like 2 or 3 scenes later, he's talking to Rey and it's like, your biggest weakness is the past. You're so hooked on who your parents are that you don't care about what's happening now. And he has that whole line of kill the past, which everyone thinks is what that movie is about, but it really isn't about killing the past. The whole theme of the movie is failure. Believe it or not, everybody fails in the movie. Everybody. And that's the whole point. And so then when he goes to get her on his side, he goes, your parents were nobodies. They sold you for booze. You're nobody. To kind of put it as a weakness for him to control her. Now, I don't have a problem with her parents being nobody, because that I never bought that whole you have to have the special blood to be a Jedi.
Right.
It was always the if you're force sensitive, you're force sensitive. If you're not, you're not. She's clearly force sensitive to an nth degree. It doesn't matter who her parents are. What matters is who she was before she got left up at Jakku. And my thought is she was one of the trainees at Luke's temple that Ben took with him, and he dropped her off at Jakku.
My problem is then how come Skywalker doesn't recognize her? I mean, I guess she's grown up.
She's grown up.
You know.
I mean, in the flashback of her being left at with, I forget his name, Simon Pegg's character in The Force Awakens, she is a little girl. She's like maybe 8. She's now a woman. And, you know, Luke has been nothing but drowning in his own sorrow. You can forgive him for going, oh, you're that little girl I knew. In hell, we don't even know if Rey was her name then. She doesn't remember anything about being dropped off at Jakku at all. So just because her parents might be nobody, which I'm not saying is true, and I really hope they don't renege that in the next one, because J.J. Abrams probably had some grand scheme for her. But like, and this guy was like, no, fuck it, we're doing this. I just want to know who she was before. And if it turns out that she was still nobody, I have no problem with that. Because honestly, I think I would have been more upset if you're like, oh, you're my, oh, hi, Luke Skywalker. Oh, hi, long lost daughter. Or, oh, you're the granddaughter of, you know, Ben Kenobi. I'd be more upset about that than anything else.
Well, what you're saying about not knowing what JJ is going to do, and, you know, because you had JJ Abrams do the first one, then Ryan Johnson do this one, now JJ's doing the next one, is that right?
JJ's going back to the next one, and I'm honestly worried about that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not the biggest J.J. Abrams fan, as I've never hidden, but my biggest problem is I just wish just one person was in charge. If it wasn't one of those two guys, maybe just some producer, I don't care, in a studio.
Right.
But, like, one of the things that Star Wars, the original, and even the prequel trilogy had going for it was that George Lucas was the one, more or less, one person, one creative...
plot.
Yes,
overall
one person
leadership.
in charge of all that. Yeah.
Where it was like,
These
this is the
movies
idea.
don't have that.
Yeah, and that's kind of the problem.
Each individual movie has it, but the whole trilogy does not. And it's kind of like it's developing the problems that I had with the X-Men movies, where they're losing continuity in movies that are supposed to be continuing from each other.
And I don't think it's too bad yet.
That's a good point to go off of.
Not yet. There's a couple things where it's like, I don't know.
I mean, it's a good way to word that, because, like, you know, I don't mind there, like, because when you take things like Rogue One and, like, you know, the Han Solo movie, that's okay if that's in a different direction and has a different artistic vision. But, like, when you're trying to tie in The Force Awakens with Last Jedi, there's no fucking reason why that's not the same person. Like, leading that, like, the overall, like, story and artistic vision, there's no reason. There's no reason why that should.
If we find out somebody wrote the one and wrote this one, and they're writing the next one, then I think we're okay. But I don't think that's the case here. And you're absolutely right. It's something I'm worried about. I didn't worry so much about going into this one, and I'm still not worried about these two connecting. I'm definitely worried about the next one connecting to these two, because this one drastically changed the status quo for me, and. And I liked it, and I liked where it went, coming off of familiarity to changing it. If we go back to J.J. Abrams and he goes back to the status quo, it's gonna feel very, very jarring, and it's not gonna leave me satisfied, especially if this is going to be the last true Star Wars movie we get for a long, long time. You know, and that is more than a fair concern. You know, that's a good point, and I really like that you brought it up. Thank you.
That was my biggest problem with the movies. So that's it's just it felt too different creatively.
I just don't feel like the story was that disjarring for me going into it.
No, not the story.
I don't think the story was disjarring.
And the plot lines, again, I don't. If we're worried about Rey being a part, like if JJ said, "Oh, Rey was going to be somebody's daughter or granddaughter that was going to be important," I didn't get that feeling. Yeah, Ben Kenobi talks to her in the vision, but again, I just assumed that this, because she was so powerful with the Force that she had the ability to just tap into it. That we see multiple times happen in the Force Awakens, that she has this ability to uncontrollably tap into the Force and become really scared and powerful. We see it a lot of times in the Force Awakens with like her like doing the Jedi mind trick, but most notably is with her battle with Kylo Ren at the very end. So like she is parrying away with the lightsaber, and then she hits this one moment where she just kind of like closes her eyes, opens them, and like is able to kick his ass. And it's like, oh, she tapped into the Force to kick the shit out of him. So I just assumed that flashback scene was like the Force taking over, kind of thing, like an uncontrollable entity.
I hope they stick to her parents being nobodies.
Yes.
Because I feel like that builds a stronger foundation for future movies. You know, it's. I feel like it's better for the Resistance, especially now that you guys pointed out that, like, you know, the kid at the end was Force sensitive.
Well,
Totally missed that part. But I mean, like, it really like answers a lot of questions for like people that are not as savvy like myself. That you don't have to, your parents don't have to be somebody super special to go through it. And that's, I mean, in the past, it's not always been super clear. Like, it seems like it's an anomaly when it happens.
Yeah, and that's
You know what I mean?
that's also the main point of Canto Bight. You took the two people who aren't in any way, shape, or form royalty or Force sensitive, or even part of the space Nazis, and you put them on this planet to show, hey, there's these people outside of this civil war going on who are profiting off of it just because they're dickbags. So the idea of the non-special nobodies, that kind of gives you that idea of the Star Wars universe without being so involved with the Civil War. You get this other view, and it helps with the idea of, oh, Rey is nobody, even though she really wanted to be somebody. Her parents weren't anybody special. She's part of that group. And what's really cool is at the very, very end, when Rey finally meets Poe, they do that nice little twist on the whole dialogue. You know what's going to happen. She goes, "I'm Rey," and he goes, "I know." She's not nobody. She has made her own legend.
Right.
And that's kind of like a nice little touch, because a lot of it was like, you know, don't become a legend. People will look up to you and you're going to let them down. That was Luke's whole thing. And when Yoda tells him, you know, failure is the greatest thing you can teach him, he becomes that legend again when he goes out and takes on the whole First Order with his laser sword, which I fucking loved. That he's like, what am I going to do? Take on the whole First Order with a laser sword? And at the end of the movie, I hit my wife and I was like, he's taking on the whole First Order with a laser sword.
It's funny.
And it's just, you know, it's that whole idea of like, don't meet your heroes. The heroes will only let you down, and then stepping up to that call to become the hero again. And it's the same. It's like a lot of people were upset like at some of the jokes, but some of the jokes made sense with, like, you know, oh, Luke's taking on the whole First Order with a laser sword, or Rey going, he's like, what's the Force? It's what you use to pull things towards you and lift rocks and stuff. No, well, yes, but no. And at the very end, her big hero moment is lifting a bunch of rocks with the Force. It's just a nice little. There's these nice little circle, you know, completions that are great. I don't know.
So you mentioned Poe. Can we talk about Poe?
What's wrong with Poe?
I loved his character arc. I love this whole thing about him being the hotshot flyboy who's going to save the day. And they're like, yeah, that doesn't always work, basically. And there's better options. Because, you know, you got movies, Top Gun, et cetera, where that character is the one who is the hero of the movie. And this kind of just turns that on its face. And I love that, how it did that. But I felt like his character was wasted in this movie. Like, as much as they like, yeah. Go ahead.
I agree on both accounts. Like, that's something, that's an opinion that I had that I totally forgot. Like, that I was thinking at the time. I felt like Poe wasn't in it. I think he was wasted. But I did like that story, that whole story arc, and the whole, like, we're gonna do this whole thing to save the entire ship and whatnot. And it turns out like that She had a plan all along and whatnot. And I like that whole concept that like she was more. What did Leia say? Like she was more concerned with, like she wasn't as concerned with being perceived as a hero.
Yeah,
Mhm.
there
Like
was no.
she just wanted to get it done.
What is it? There were a bunch of heroes on that mission, all dead ones. That it's not about being a hero; it's about conserving the hope. But as much as he was, as you guys put, wasted, he will probably play a huge part in the next one because he learned the lessons to become the next general,
Mm-hmm.
and he's going to take over that role now that we've lost Carrie Fisher, and as that's why I don't feel like he was wasted because he learned really, really important lessons that will feed into the next film so much more. And if he's not used in the next one, then I will eat crow.
How are they going to explain the loss of Carrie Fisher? in
They'll
the
probably
next
do a
one?
time jump. This will probably be a few years
My
later.
guess is they'll begin the film with like her funeral. It's,
probably.
you know,
Something like
like
that.
that.
Yeah.
Do we want to touch Leia Poppins?
I actually really liked that. I know a lot of people hated it. I actually liked it. Sorry, Bill.
Jess?
I see your face.
No,
Explain your reference.
the Leia in space, and then Mary Poppins her ass back to the door.
I'm Mary
Oh,
Poppins.
that was pretty funny. Mary Poppins, bitch. That was another one of those things. I was literally sitting in my car, like, what is happening? Like Leia's never had the Force before.
But she has.
She has. She sensed
has.
things, but
Yeah, she senses things. But this whole going through fucking space, it's fucking space. Like, Mary Poppins,
so-
Poppins, that's funny.
So my only problem with this scene was that it was too far out there. That was it. I liked the idea of what it was showing, but it didn't have to be that extravagant. Because that's just me as a film watcher. I like simple things or things that can be done really more practical instead of this grand CGI scene that wasn't necessary. But one of my people that I watched, one of the reviewers, had the best comment on it ever that has made me okay with this scene. And I'm going to quote Movie Bob on this 100%. He said something along the lines of, if the Force can project you to be a blue ghost and interact with things and put you on any planet you want, it can make you survive in space for 5 minutes. And if you can pull objects towards you, you can pull yourself towards objects.
Mm-hmm.
And why are you people bitching about this? Princess Leia finally used the Force, and this is the last time we'll ever see Carrie Fisher on screen. Just let her have her Super Saiyan Jedi moment, God damn it. And I went, I'm perfectly
All right.
100% okay with that scene.
Yeah, I'm okay with that, I guess.
Let her have her Super Saiyan Jedi moment, okay? That's how I'm a fucking...
You know, she
no
deserves
problem.
it.
She, like, as much of a problem as I had with her in The Force Awakens just being a total mushmouth, and I was, like, she was, like, the weakest comeback of that, and I was like, oh, I don't know how I'm going to feel about the next movie with her in it. She fucking rocked it in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
She was 100 fantastic, and whoever designed her costumes, awesome. She looked like a badass
She was
the whole time.
badass. She was a badass. She yes.
She was great.
I did not realize she was going to have that big of a role in the movie. I was very happy that she did.
Yeah, I didn't either. I didn't think that they got that much done with her in the movie.
Well, they finished
before
filming
she
it before she passed. They finished all of it.
Oh, see, my mental timeline just didn't remember that.
And then,
Well, I heard she was supposed to have a big role in the third movie,
Yeah.
so I didn't. But I didn't know this movie. That's all.
Okay.
which leads me to the question. I think this is the thing we're going to end on. If they knew Carrie Fisher was going to pass, and that she passed, why did they still choose to kill Luke?
Interesting.
Because, I had no problem with that end scene. I thought it was really cool. It was a really cool lesson to teach Kylo Ren too that he was doing. That it harkens back to the first lesson Ben told him on the Millennium Falcon. Don't trust your eyes.
Right.
It was great. It was really cool. It was over the top. It was everything you wanted it to be. I knew it wasn't him on there because he wasn't leaving a trail. He was also using the same saber we just saw got destroyed, and I was like, oh, this
I
is
was
really
wondering
cool.
about that because it was the blue one. It wasn't the green one.
It was the same one it was the original Anakin Skywalker one. I was like, oh shit, really? That's another tip, and I'm like, that's really cool. And we also had that learning curve throughout the movie because at the very beginning, when Kylo Ren and Rey first get connected, Kylo literally says, "You're not doing this. The effort would kill you," which is connecting the two. And we find out later Snoke did it. And Snoke
Right.
does it multiple times, which adds to the whole illusion of why Snoke was so powerful, which also
Right.
is why the reason I'm okay with not knowing who he is, because he could hide himself pretty well, because Palpatine did it to the Jedi in the first 1, 2, and 3, so go fuck yourself, LB.
Uncalled for, Bill.
So when Luke was doing it, I was like, oh shit, he's gonna die, because he's putting so much effort, and like, in that forethought that Carrie Fisher's gone and you're not gonna be able to use her, why did you still kill Luke? Because if you want him to come back, he has to be a ghost. And then what was the point of even killing him instead of just keeping Mark Hamill around?
Maybe he doesn't have to be a ghost.
Didn't Mark Hamill not necessarily want to do this movie? Like,
No, he
didn't he
didn't.
try and pull out of it?
He
though, at
didn't
some
want to
point?
do it. And then Harrison Ford, he was like, well, I won't do it if Harrison Ford's not going to do it for The Force Awakens. And Harrison Ford was
Right.
like, fuck yeah, I'm going to do it because I'm going to get killed and it's going to be awesome. Because he's been waiting to kill Han Solo since
It's true.
freaking Empire.
That's true.
Um,
Yeah.
So Mark Hamill felt obligated to do it, and I don't know. Mark Hamill saying he didn't like this Luke and adding that whole "not my Luke" thing. I don't know what people were watching. That was totally my Luke through and through. It was great, and
Let's see it.
so
It was like back to the whiny farm boy.
exactly, he
Right,
was a whiny
right,
farm boy.
exactly.
Except he's now more
Oh,
jaded.
Jedi
and-
Order sucks.
What? I just want to. Oh man, what happens if I would have picked up those power converters? God damn it!
God damn it. He's
But-
just been sitting, like, thinking about all of his regrets on his island. Like,
Should have got those power converters. Why didn't we get that other R2 unit? God damn it!
God damn it.
God damn it. What if I didn't get my arm chopped off? What if I listened to Yoda? Damn it.
Maybe I should have listened to Yoda.
Maybe I should have pulled a lightsaber on Ben.
Oh, maybe I should have.
Maybe I should have thought about it before I went into that tent that night. Like,
Maybe I shouldn't have kissed my sister twice. So, yeah. I don't know.
maybe I should have kissed my sister more.
Maybe
Uh,
Is it weird that I still get a boner when I think about my sister in that staple outfit?
and on that note,
And on that note, where would you put this in the grand ranking scheme of Star Wars? Best to worst. LB, go.
I might say above Return.
Okay, so where is it on your whole list? What's your list?
Well, that'd be below A New Hope and Empire, with Empire being top.
Empire, New Hope, Last Jedi?
I think so.
Return
Yeah.
and then Last Jedi.
I think Last Jedi, then Return.
And then what's after Return? Force? Or
Caravan of Courage.
Hell yeah! Caravan
What
of
is
Courage, baby. Is that
What
the one
is
with Wilford
Caravan of
Is that with Wilford
Courage?
Brimley? Diabetes.
No, that's actually the better one. Battle for Endor. That's the
Battle
best
for
one.
Which one's the
Wilford
first
Brimley.
one? Battle for Endor?
Caravan of Courage is the first one.
That's the Ewok
Caravan of
movies.
Courage. Caravan of Courage is with the family and the Ewoks. In the beginning of Battle for Endor, spoilers, the family all gets killed
He
off
all
except
gets
the little
murdered,
girl.
right? Yeah, that's so
Yeah.
weird.
It's great.
Okay.
Hey, remember those characters you loved from the first movie?
Dead. You remember that whole time we spent trying to save him? Dead. Jess, where would you put it on your list?
oh God.
Oh, I didn't finish my list. While
Yeah.
you think about it, I'll finish my list.
Yeah.
Yeah, finish
So,
it.
below Return would be Force Awakens, and then the prequels in some order. We'll go 3, 1, 2, going down.
Where's Rogue One?
Oh shit!
Ha!
Before the prequels?
I put Rogue One before the prequels, personally.
Yeah.
Like better, or
Like,
Like,
what? Go ahead.
I think I put Rogue One between Return and Last Jedi.
So, okay, hold on. So you have
Really not a fan of Return of the Jedi.
Empire, New Hope, Last Jedi, Rogue One, Return of the Jedi, Revenge of the Sith,
3-1.
3, 1, 2, so Phantom Menace, Attack of the Clones is the last. Good list.
Yeah.
All right,
Okay.
Jess.
Yeah.
Do you want me to go while you think it out and type it out?
Yeah, please.
Okay, so Empire.
I'm writing it down on a sticky note so I remember.
Empire, Star Wars, because that's what we have in my house.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah, The Last Jedi. But then I put The Force Awakens. Then I put Return of the Jedi, which is actually like that's not a big slight against Return of the Jedi. It just those are really the top 5. Then you have a drastic drop in quality: Rogue One, Revenge of the Sith, Phantom Menace, Attack of the Clones.
So the only difference in our list is where you put
Rogue
Return and what, Rogue One? Yeah, that's it. You had them flipped from when I had them. That's it.
And it's like, honestly, The Force Awakens and Return of the Jedi are like even, pretty much, in my opinion.
I just think Rogue One it's a really good movie. I know it's not a great Star Wars movie. It's a really good movie, though.
It suffers from pacing issues and character arcs, and characters making unlogical jumps for them, and pointless characters.
But it's a great movie to watch. It's fun to watch.
It's fun to watch, but I do have problems with the nostalgia wank that is that Darth Vader scene. Why does Darth Vader get to end Jyn Erso's movie? And more importantly, for it trying to force to like connect the two so much, it just doesn't connect and totally misses it. And
most importantly, why isn't it a Kyle Katarn?
Why Kyle Katarn can steal the Death Star plans in like 2 minutes flat if you know the layout of the level. That's a Star Wars joke. Rip Kyle Katarn. I miss you, buddy. I miss you every day. Jess, or rank it. And
Phil hated his Kyle Katarn in the Kyle Katarn movie.
So mine is very similar to you guys after careful contemplation.
Okay. I'm totally not copying us.
No, I didn't. Because I went Empire, New Hope, Return of the Jedi. Or no, Empire, New Hope, Force Awakens, Return of the Jedi, The Last Jedi.
Okay, and then
Rogue One before the sequels. I didn't like Rogue One. It's not that I didn't like it. I just don't. I didn't like it as much. It was off. It was off for me.
It's weird that you guys are like, no, don't get me wrong. You guys were like, oh, I didn't love it, but you still put it at number 3. That kind of shocked me. I honestly thought you guys.
What?
Oh,
Last Jedi.
You didn't. You put The Last Jedi there, didn't you? No, you didn't. Jess.
I did.
I put Rogue One like right before 1 through 3. I still put it pretty
I'm talking
low.
about Last Jedi. Where did you put it?
Oh, Last Jedi. Oh, I put it 5.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. That makes
I'm
sense.
surprised with myself
for
too.
me.
Yeah,
That I put it at 3.
I guess I'm surprised by you, LB, because like Jess, I kind of got that feeling like you didn't love it, and that's fine, and I totally get. This is not like I say. The one thing I wrote in the article was, you don't have to like it. You can be disappointed. You can say that you were disappointed by the story. You can say you're disappointed by the characters, but by no stretch of the imagination are you allowed to say that this is a bad movie or these are bad characters.
Exactly.
So,
and the only reason like why mine is like further down is because like I really liked Force Awakens because I liked the introduction of Rey as a whole.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm
thought
still really
like
excited about Rey. I love where they're taking it.
I love that character.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why like Force Awakens cuz like I was super excited and I wasn't like as excited about her character development for that. Like I was hopeful, but I didn't find like that same level of excitement.
That's fair. And
so like that's why that got like higher, and then I just couldn't, with my adverse feelings about The Last Jedi, I couldn't put it above Return of the Jedi.
That's
fine. So I'm not. That's
Jess, you have nothing to defend here. Nothing.
I know.
I'm more shocked that LB has a list closer to mine than yours. Because like when he said I didn't love it, but I didn't hate it. I didn't love it and I didn't hate it. I was like, oh, he's gonna put it like down lower, but you put it at number 3, and I was like, I liked it, and I put it at number 3. I liked it a lot. So that's just the question I have.
Yeah.
And before he changes it,
he's in deep thought, or his screen's frozen again. I can't.
I'm really contemplating. I don't know, because I walked out of the movie going, I really didn't care for it, but then I think about it, I was like, I don't know. I think I was just nitpicking, so I don't know.
Well, and the, like I to that effect, LB, I feel like the more that we've talked about it here, it seems more like I'm nitpicking.
And,
Like I feel more like I'm nitpicking as to my feelings.
and part of the reason I thought I didn't like it so much was because I was thinking of, well, Force Awakens kind of set this up, and this kind of contradicts it. But the more I think, I was like, I really didn't care for Force Awakens, so I really can't be upset by that.
Uh, that's fine. It's like I just, as long as people say they were disappointed or didn't like it, I can't argue with them. That's personal opinion. But you can't say it's bad. You just can't. And
You know what? I know
I feel
what
like I'm cheating Alan Tudyk by putting Rogue One so far down.
you know what the biggest
I have
problem
guilt.
the biggest problem is with Last Jedi.
What? Han's gone.
He's not in it.
But Porgs. Which, oh my god, do you know why Porgs are in the movie?
No,
Yeah, I heard.
I didn't.
'Cause there's-
Share with me.
Because
There's
so
Go
many
ahead.
puffins on the island they were shooting, and they couldn't remove the puffins because they were a protected species, that they just CG'd over the puffins to make them Porgs. And I fucking love it.
The Porgs imitating like the Wookiee call. The Chewbacca, like, in that scene where like Chewie's screaming and then the Porg starts screaming. I was like,
I felt
singular happiness in that moment. Like, Daryl's looking at me like I'm an idiot, and I'm just like, yay!
Porg.
I felt like the Porgs were out of place, but then looking back, they're no more out of place than Salacious Crumb or the whatever.
Jawas, or the
Jawas.
Ewoks,
Right.
or
It's
the
just it's more-
Urgnaughts from fucking Cloud City.
And yet they weren't obnoxious to the point of Jar Jar Binks. So
right. Well, and that's we don't talk about that.
Well, I love the people who are signing the petition to get the non-Star Wars jokes out of Star Wars, and I'm like, what the fuck is a Star Wars joke? Is it the poop joke when
Yeah.
when Jar Jar Binks steps in poop, or when the alien camel farts in his face, or when CGI Anakin rides the CGI balloon bull in Attack of the Clones and falls off it, or when Han Solo tries to blow a torch out so he doesn't light him on fire, or when R2-D2 gets eaten by a monster in Dagobah and gets spat out, or the time Dexter Jettster pulls his pants up in Attack of the Clones as his 1950s diner because butt jokes are funny. What the fuck is a Star Wars joke?
I don't know. I will say I felt like Last Jedi had some humor that was out of place.
Which
to
one?
me.
Which one?
Yeah,
Okay.
I liked the humor.
There was the moment towards the end where Hux repeats Ben, and Ben looks at him like. To me, I was like, that seems out of character to me for Kylo Ren to do.
I don't remember that
I felt like
I don't remember that one.
I don't know. He just gives him that look
I know
like
the moment that
seriously.
you're talking. Yeah, no, they were trying to convey the power struggle, but they were also trying to make
Yeah.
light of it. And like, yeah, no, that I was like,
It almost felt like I was sometimes in the movie with the way the humor was, especially with Hux. I felt like I was watching Spaceballs. I really did.
Right.
There were signs like where Hux was really good, and there's times where like
I
they
just
made
didn't like
Hux
Hux in this
they made the
movie.
Hux like a butt of a joke, and there's times where like it worked
Yeah.
because I really liked the Poe trolling him at the beginning because that's totally a Poe thing to do, and that's totally
Right.
how Hux would define it. But like then Hux became too much of a butt of a joke at times, and I was like, damn it. Like, I want Hux to be a
The
really good
trolling
villain.
in the beginning was pretty funny. Like,
Is General Hux there? I'll wait for him. Still
yeah.
waiting for General Hux. Got a message.
So when you see him, can you let him know?
Let him know it's a message about his mother. All right, say
That
goodnight,
was-
everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Fucking shit! Why do I keep doing that
Every time.
every time? LB, get some sleep. Jess,
I have a bad feeling
Keep
about
rocking.
this.
What?
keep rocking.
You just froze and I didn't hear anything. Keep rocking.
Keep rocking. Like a
Rocking.
badass new god.
I finished Gunslinger, Bill.
Woo! We'll talk about it later. Say bye.
Bye.
LB, you just hit your mic.
I was like